Hi, I'm Jessica, and this is QBO Common Errors. We are a CPA podcast, and I'm going to go ahead and start today by talking about matching in QuickBooks to avoid double counting expenses. So specifically, whenever you enter an expense separately from it coming through the bank feed, I'm going to show you what that looks like, but essentially we just want to avoid double counting expenses in QuickBooks. So with that information, we're going to dive on in here to my screen. And this is a little sample company provided by QuickBooks. I'm going to be working in this checking account, and we're going to start with these expenses specifically. So I can see here in July that we spent $1,200 on A1 rental backhoe. So I'm just going to go ahead and code that like you normally would. So it looks like we haven't used them before. I'm just going to call it A1 rental. So I'm going to go ahead and create the vendor, hit save, and let's see if we have a equipment rental expense. So I'm going to code that just like you normally would, $1,200 A1 rental, add. And then there's another one, and you can see QuickBooks made this green because it's already recognizing that I coded something similar. So I'm going to go ahead and double check A1 rental, equipment rental, and hit add. Okay, so at this point, and I'm just going to exit out of that for now. At this point, both of those $800 and $1,200 are going to show up on my profit and loss as a $2,000 expense. But say I coded the books and then afterwards the client decided to come in here and they want the receipt to be in QuickBooks. So they're like, okay, well, I did an expense to A1. So they come in here, they enter an expense, and they're like, I paid A1 rental, and I did an equipment rental for $800. And they go in here, and they're like, I'm going to just attach this so that I know, and I have this record. Okay, and then they also go in, and they're going to enter the $1,200 one. So again, we're going to do A1. And it says, do you want to pre-fill? I'm going to say yes, because it populated my category. But I'm going to change this to $1,200 because that's what my receipt says. And I'm just going to pull in my receipt here so that I have it. All right, $1,200. So perfect. Now the CPA has coded two expenses, and now the clients also come behind them and coded two expenses. So I'm going to show you what that looks like here in the checking account. So this account is obviously off. Ending balance is negative $2,700, and then bank balance is negative $3,600. And so you can see here these two expenses that were entered on July 15th. So I can see this $1,200, and then I also see it down here, and then I see $800 and $800. And just for clarity, I'm just going to search this $1,200. Okay, so this is getting double counted, and both of these are pulling out of the bank register. There's two ways to deal with this. I'm going to show you the first one, and then I'm going to come back and show you the next one. So the first one is that I'm going to go ahead and delete the one coded by the CPA, because I know nothing's attached to that. You want to make sure nothing's attached, no extra documentation is in there, but I just coded it, so I know. So I'm going to go back to banking, and then I can see here one match found for that $1,200. So now if I match it, it's not going to create another expense. It's just going to link the bank transaction to the actual receipt the client entered. Okay, so I did that for the $1,200, and I'm going to do the same thing for the $800. Just to make sure we have the right one, I'm going to delete this one that I coded, and then go here to banking. And this isn't matching right away, so this is where you can use this find match tool, just in case QuickBooks didn't pick it up as something obvious. And it's probably because right here, the client entered it on 7/15, so you need to expand your your dates here. And I'm going to sort by amount, and there's the A1 rental for 800. So I'm going to code that. So now when we go back into our bank register, I'm going to see only one of each coded. Okay, so as you can see, there's two different ways to find a match. So you can either let QuickBooks find it, and then if it doesn't, you go in here and actually use this find match function and just make sure your criteria is broad enough. And then you can always sort by transaction amount, you can sort by payee, or whatever it may be. So if you would like to see more videos like this, go ahead and follow us. Thank you.